Hello and welcome to NCAA Week 15. Bobby and Josh and myself are going to talk a little bit about the games coming up. And we're going to first talk about the Friday night game. What do we have in store?
It's the MAC title game.
I'm excited for this. Are you excited for this? I'm excited.
Bowling Green versus Northern Illinois.
Bowling Green.
I mean,
and Northern Illinois.
I don't
so
think,
really, what's the issue here?
Is Jordan Lynch a good Heisman candidate? That's what really everyone's asking.
Yeah.
No one really thinks Bowling Green has a chance, but everyone likes Jordan Lynch. I like Jordan Lynch. I want him to win the Heisman over Jameis.
Now, this is BCS implications, right? They still are in the hunt for a BCS.
No, actually, if they win this, I think they have a solid spot inside of BCS.
They're undefeated. They'll be undefeated.
So. My only thing is both teams, Bowling Green's 9-3. They did lose a close one to Mississippi State. I don't know if they have a chance realistically, but...
I mean, they have a good defense, keeping most teams to less than 13 points.
Okay, now let's move along to the Saturday games. The first one we'll talk about the ACC Championship Game. So what's going to happen, Bobby? We'll start with you, Mr. ACC.
Well, like we said before, I mean, this is a great football game.
No.
Well,
Duke's in it.
Duke is in it. And let's just say this about Duke. Who would have thought that Duke would be in the championship game? Would at the beginning of the season, if you would have said Duke would have been there, we would have all laughed.
People would have laughed.
No, yeah. I would have laughed.
So my thing is this. If the snow is falling in Charlotte, and it's cold, and the Florida State bus crashes on the way, no, I'm just kidding. No, I don't think Duke has a chance. But you have to still give them credit for what they've done. I think their academic standards are a bit higher than everyone else in America, so good job, Duke.
You think their academic standards are higher than the criminals?
I would agree with that.
And speaking of high academics, how about Stanford versus Arizona State for the no Oregon? I'm happy.
Okay, so we're gonna go Pac-12, no Oregon. That is a good thing.
Yeah.
So what do you think? The question would be, does Arizona State really stand a chance against Stanford Cardinal?
I say yes. I say they have a legitimate chance. They are a good football program. Both teams only have 2 losses.
I think if you rewind at the beginning of the season, Arizona State played Wisconsin. And you remember when the quarterback, he had that goofy play where he took a knee or did something at the end of that killed him. Arizona State won that game. They played with a very tough-nosed Wisconsin running team. I think that Stanford's a similar build. They like to pound you. I think, though, that Arizona State's defense is built in a way that they can stop them. I think Arizona State will upset. So
I don't think Arizona State can be.
I think Arizona State as well. Okay, then let's move over to the Big Ten. Big Ten obviously has a front runner.
I was saying earlier that I think Ohio State has to be the most underappreciated number 2 team ever. I mean, no one looks at them.
Underappreciated or overrated?
Overrated?
I'm saying underrated. I don't think they're rated high enough. I think they're better than people say they are. I think everyone just overlooks them. When you say
Ohio State.
When you say Ohio State. When you say national title, you immediately think Florida State, not Ohio State. No one's thinking about Ohio State.
No, nobody's thinking Ohio State. And I think the real question would be Michigan State. Can they step in there and just derail this for Ohio State?
And they do have the defense to do that. I think they can. Yeah. Is their offense good enough? I think last week they won a game pretty sloppily, 21-6, something not close, something that was probably could have been a little more dominant.
It's always good if you can have a bad offensive game and your defense can be able to go.
That's true.
Well, my thing about this game is, okay, let's say Ohio State does win.
Okay.
Let's rewind a few years ago when Urban Meyer was coach of Florida, and he was complaining that Michigan was going to have a chance to go to the national title. And he's sitting over here, well, you have to look at the SEC schedule, and a one-loss team should be able to beat a Big Ten team. And Michigan did wind up losing, so he didn't have to worry about it. But now the tables are turned, and he's on the other side.
They sure are turned.
So we'll see what happens.
That's right. Okay. Let's talk about, SEC Championship Game.
Missouri and Auburn.
2 teams that were losing records last year, just fighting for the national
I'm they had a combined
championship.
16 losses.
Yeah.
I'll just say it's an easy pick. Tigers win. Whether it's Missouri, whether it is Auburn.
Yeah.
Who would you say would win though? Auburn or Missouri?
Auburn has magic, so I'm taking Auburn.
I think Missouri has no magic, but they can still beat Auburn. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I have to. If you watch the 2 endings of Auburn games against. I mean, you just can't think the luck can go on forever. It can't go on forever. Or it can't go on forever. Or it can't go on forever.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Auburn win those 2 games at home? Was the game against Georgia at home and the game against Alabama at home?
Yes.
This is on a neutral field. I don't know how they played on the road, but that could be an interesting statistic to throw in there. How have they played on the road? How will that look in the
I mean, they lost to LSU on the road.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I think Missouri can win that. And just throwing this out there, can Alabama make it into the national championship game?
Are you really going to throw that?
I'm gonna throw it out here.
I will say
we were
no.
talking about it and long discussions about this. And if Ohio State loses.
And Florida State.
No. I'm just saying the more likely one. If Ohio State loses to Michigan State and Missouri beats Auburn, would Missouri, if it's a close game, be put ahead of Alabama?
Yes.
No.
Missouri's
not that close to Alabama points-wise. I don't think they would. I think Alabama would be put ahead.
Although Alabama has gotten to the national championship before without winning the conference, I just think that would just go in the face. I think the voters could not do that to a team. Even if it's Missouri that people don't quite respect, that would just go in the face of everything.
And real quick, if Duke beat Florida State and Michigan State beat...
Then Florida State would...
then it would be Auburn, Alabama, and if Auburn wins for the national championship.
There's a lot of big ifs there. Let's move right along out of fantasy land, and let's head back to the Big 12, and let's talk about the Big 12. What we've got, Texas and Baylor coming up. Baylor, they look like they've just sort of fallen apart ever since they played Oklahoma
They really have.
State.
After they went against TCU, not against TCU at all.
Yeah.
And they struggled. They only won by 3 points.
Yeah.
So I think
against Texas, what's going to happen? Texas looks like they've been improving.
Sure. I think that Baylor kind of has looked a lot like Oregon. They just start off real strong and then just kind of fall apart towards the end.
Yeah.
And very fast-paced team. I think Texas, they have the ability to really run the football. I think they can control it a little bit. And I like Texas.
Is Case McCoy still starting quarterback?
Who's
Colt McCoy's brother? Anyone know?
I think so.
Yeah.
I do too.
Okay, Oklahoma
Same
State.
conference, Oklahoma State. I'm pretty sure even if Oklahoma State lost this, they'd still be the number one. No, wait. Baylor would. This is actually, whoa. Alright, so it actually matters if Oklahoma beat Oklahoma State, which I don't think can happen.
I don't think it would happen either.
First of all, Oklahoma State lost to West Virginia. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Please, I don't know.
But that was early on.
That's already a conference loss.
Yeah.
Are they only one conference loss?
It's their only game.
If Oklahoma State didn't have that hiccup, they could be talking about that.
Sure could be. They sure could be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they're looking good here at the end of the season.
Anyone think Oklahoma's got it?
I don't.
No. I mean, this game is played at Sooners, or not, it's played at Oklahoma State, so it's a little favoring them.
Yeah.
But traditionally, Oklahoma plays them well. I mean, it'd be hard to write off the Sooners completely, but you got to start thinking, if Oklahoma loses another one to Oklahoma State, does Bob Stoops' job become in jeopardy because, they're kind of falling
Oklahoma
off?
State's really good.
That's true.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the last weeks of college football.
Yeah.
Starting to wind down.
It's been good.
Season.
It's been good. We'll the next time we see you guys, we'll be talking more about the bowl games coming up, and that'll be fun as well. All right.